Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to the 16th edition of Business Opportunity Over Chai, a platform by Franchise India where we represent you few of the prominent brands Franchise India team works with. Today, we have another big brand, premium brand, P&G. We welcome our panelist, Chairman Franchise India Gaurav sir, and our MD Sonia ma'am for this particular session, and they will be sharing their insights and view on the product. We also welcome our prominent guest today, Rajat Arya, who will take us through the entire journey of P&G. Thank you so much, Rajat, for joining us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Very good afternoon to everyone who's joining us today. And as the introduction goes, P&G Purifier Water is the brand that we'll be discussing today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rajat, and I am the director of Novexus Healthcare. We are the distributors and the promoters of the product for the territory of India. How P&G works is that they have several partners for this product throughout the world, and we are the official partners for India. The product is a small sachet product, and as you can see on your screens, this is the first time that P&G has ever named a product after the company name. This is the value that they give to the product. So it's called P&G Purifier Water. It's a small 4-gram sachet. Let me also show the sachet right from the start. So it's the size of a small shampoo sachet, equivalent to a shampoo sachet, and it's 4 grams by weight. And what it does is it purifies any type of contaminated water that is usually used for drinking. For example, wells, lakes, rivers, any such source which people usually use for drinking, it can purify that water in a simple process of 30 minutes. Now, the technology is very simple. They have re-engineered the process of municipal water treatment into a small sachet, as you can read on your screens. The sachet is has reverse engineered current municipal water treatment process to package the treatment process into a small packet, which individually treats 10 liters of water by using the process of coagulation, flocculation, and disinfection. It goes through a 2-stage, 3-stage process. And yeah, it's as simple as that. The sachet was developed by P&G in collaboration with the US Centers for Disease and Control back in the year 2004, when there were severe floods in Southeast Asia. So they started manufacturing the packets, and they quickly reached out to a lot of people who were in requirement of clean drinking water. They were drinking contaminated water during the floods. And that's when P&G realized that there is severe need for these sachets throughout the world, because floods keep happening each and every year, and they lead to a lot of loss of life as well. But during these floods, there is hardly any drinking water that is present. So the packaging, all the small aspects that go into the designing and the packaging of the product have been taken care of, which we will go into details later. So if I can just, yes. As I mentioned, the sachets are distributed in across the world. At present, they are distributed in over 90 countries worldwide. You can see in the map, it is mostly Southeast Asia, throughout Asia, Africa, major parts, and then Latin America. These are the places where there are challenges related to drinking water. And it has been running in these countries for over 15 years now, since 2004, like I mentioned. So it's been 15 plus years. And to date, P&G has distributed over 16 billion liters of drinking water through these sachets. So that's approximately the amount of sachets that have been distributed to date. P&G also has a vision that it will distribute or it will provide 25 billion liters of clean drinking water till the year 2025. So that's another vision of P&G. That's the target that they are working with. And yes, so it is indeed a unique initiative, as someone pointed out in the comments. If I can just go to the next slide. 1 second. Yes. We've spoken so far about the product in general. Now let us discuss about how to use the product. I'll be playing a short video in a bit after this presentation to actually show you how the product is used. Let me just go through the process. It is very simple. As I mentioned, 10 liters of drinking water. It's a small sachet. This is the size of the sachet. You cut the sachet open with a pair of scissors or a knife. Remember not to use your mouth because the product does contain chemicals which are harmful if ingested directly. So you cut it with a pair of scissors, and you pour the sachet contents into the dirty water, the 10 liters of dirty water, and you have to stir vigorously for 5 minutes so that a vortex is created. Now, once you finish stirring for 5 minutes, you have to wait for another 5 minutes, as you can see in the second step. As you can see in the second step, you have to let the water stand for another 5 minutes so that the dirt has settled, and the water, you will see clear water on top. So the flock has separated from the clear water. After waiting for the 5 minutes that we have spoken about, you have to filter the water through a clean cotton cloth. The cotton cloth must not have any holes. Please make sure that it does not have any holes. And the flock that we have collected in the first bucket has to be separated from the water in the second bucket. So a simple process of filtration. And the fourth and final step is that we have to wait for another 20 minutes for the water to be consumed. So in a simple process of 30 minutes, 5 minutes of stirring, 5 minutes of waiting, and then 20 minutes after shifting it to another bucket. In a simple process of 30 minutes, we have clean drinking water. Now, the water can be collected or gathered from any source that people usually use, that is wells, lakes, rivers, ponds. The water cannot be, the water that it cannot purify would be seawater. So seawater, since it is of a different nature, so which is why it cannot be used for purification. Otherwise, any source that people normally use can be used. As everyone must have noted that it is a very simple process, there is also a fact that not many items are required for usage of the sachets. Very simple tools which are available in each and every household are required. So all you require is 2 buckets, a scissor or knife to open the sachet, a stirrer that is required to stir the water, and a cotton cloth used for filtration. There is no maintenance, there is no electricity, there is nothing of that sort that is required. And every household can do this on a daily basis. So if there are, say, 4 or 5 members in a household, they can purify this water each and every day. So each and every household uses approximately 1 to 2 liters of drinking water per day. That is the bare minimum. So 10 liters should be sufficient for each and every family every day. So that's 1 sachet per day. That is the calculation that we use when we are using for distribution and for our setup. Any bucket that is usually available at home, it should be at least 10 liters in capacity. It could be 12 or 14 liters, that's okay. But yeah, any bucket that's usually available at home. You can see in the image that there are transparent buckets. We just use this for demonstration purposes so that people can actually see the water being purified. But any bucket at home would do. All right. What does this actually remove? Now, this is very interesting. It removes up to 7 logs of bacteria, 4 logs of viruses, and 3 logs of parasite. I know all this is really technical information for a lot of users that are watching right now. But let me just simplify this. Any type of bacteria that is found in drinking water, which is common in drinking water, which is present in the water that people usually consume, this purifies that up to 7 logs. That's approximately 99.999%. Viruses and parasites by 4 logs and 3 logs respectively. It also improves water turbidity. You can note that during floods, especially during floods, the water has a lot of turbidity. There is a lot of dirt present in the drinking water. So this improves that and this makes it clear. A very interesting thing to note that we have very strong data on arsenic, the removal of arsenic. Now, arsenic is um, a, a heavy metal that is present in a lot of drinking water across the states in Northeast and in Northern India. So that is a big challenge. Presence of arsenic in drinking water is a big challenge in UP, Bihar, and some of the northeastern states. So we have very strong data on the removal of arsenic, chromium, and lead. And yeah, so we do have testing and we have data there as well. Like I mentioned earlier, that all of the ingredients used in the packets are safe for drinking, and they are widely used by municipal systems across the world, and all the ingredients are safe for drinking. The shelf life of the product, as you may see, is 3 years from the date of manufacturing, so it has very strong shelf life. The water is also safe to drink as long. So this is a very common question that we receive, that how long can we drink the water? Now, it is safe to drink as long as it is stored safely. The bucket that the water is stored in, if you consume it within the same day, that's what is recommended. However, it is recommended. However, it can be used as long as it is stored safely. I have a couple of questions that I want to answer as I see. So one person has asked that if the ingredients in the product are such that they are harmful to consume, how can we drink that water? The chemicals that are used in the filtration process are the same chemicals that you usually receive in the municipal water that you use at home, and the water that you purify at home through your water purification system, through the personal water purification, through the personal water filter. So it is the same process. The water that goes through the filtration system in the municipal water treatment systems, this sachet has just made it smaller in size, and that's all. So another person asked if the bucket should be either metal or plastic. The bucket can be either metal or plastic. That does not matter. It can be any household bucket. Coming back to the slide, the WHO, World Health Organization, I'm sure everyone has heard of the WHO by now. The WHO has recommended this product, and it has listed this product as a protective means of water purification. What it means that it meets a certain standard for water purification when they compare it to either boiling or they compare it to other water filtration systems. I'm sure everyone understands that not the same parameters can be used for this sachet and for other filtration systems, because other filtration systems use a particular machinery and they have different capacities. So keeping that in mind, WHO has compared this to either say chlorine tablets or other water filtration systems of this parameter, or say boiling. Now boiling would require a lot of resources, so that is not recommended by the World Health Organization versus this product. If I can quickly play the video. Okay, we'll just have the video in a couple of minutes. Let me also talk about the packaging of the sachets. The sachet is packed in a 4 gram. The powder is available in a 4 gram sachet. It's manufactured in Singapore, so we import the sachets. It's the global hub for manufacturing the packets. The video is playing right now, so I think we can all see the video. I'll describe as and when the video is played, and then I'll come back to the packaging. So as everyone can see that the sachet, 4-gram sachet will now be used to purify the 10 liters of dirty water that we have on the screen. The first step, as I mentioned, is opening the sachet with a pair of scissors or knife. You have to be very careful with that. And you have to pour the sachet contents and stir for a period of 5 minutes. We can see that the timer is going on the top left of the screen. And we've just fast forwarded so that the video can be shortened. After a simple process of stirring for 5 minutes, everyone can see that the dirt will just start to settle. We have a very funny reaction when people see this for the first time. They think it's magic. And especially when we've done a lot of field trips and we've done a lot of demonstrations, in their own local language, they call it magic. In Africa, for example, they say juju. So as soon as they see this dirt settling down, they say, oh, juju. So that's one thing. And after stirring for 5 minutes, you can see that the timer, it went on till 11 minutes, approximately 10 minutes that is. So another 5 minutes of waiting, after which you have to transfer the top water, that's the clear water on top, into another bucket with a clean cotton filter. And you have to wait for another 20 minutes. So 5 minutes of stirring, 5 minutes of waiting, and then transferring it and filtering it, and then 20 minutes of waiting. So after a process of approximately, say, 30 minutes, the water is clean to drink. Yeah. All right. I'll come back to the presentation. I was also talking about the packaging of the sachets. So this is a sachet. It's packed in a small 4-gram sachet, and the outer packaging is 240 sachets per box. So this is the box that we sell it in. And yes, it's manufactured in Singapore. We import it to India as it is imported into other countries worldwide. The plastic packing is such that it is child resistant. Children will not be able to open it easily, so that prevents them from consuming the sachets directly. The sachet packaging is plastic, so the material that is contained in the sachet is also won't also be affected if it is say damaged by throwing into water, which is very useful in the time of floods. Now I will come back to the presentation. As I mentioned, the product has been recommended by the WHO, and it is listed as a protective household technology by the WHO. I mentioned that our priority states in India are UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and Assam. This is very important for a couple of reasons that I've listed on the screen. These states, I mean, all states in India have contamination, but particularly these states have high rates of people with waterborne diseases. We have deaths with children even under the age of 5 who are dying because of waterborne diseases and diseases related to this. Secondly, these 5 states are highly populated, and I've shown a small comparison on in the form of a table. Each of these states, for example, UP has a population of approximately 22 crores. Now that's as big as the population of Brazil, where the product is doing extremely well with regards to distribution and its effects. So each and every state of India, and especially these states, have a lot of potential and have a lot of usage when it comes to population, and they need these sachets also because I've mentioned that drinking water in these states has higher levels of arsenic in a lot of areas. The government has recognized this, and they know that there is some treatment that is required with respect to arsenic in the drinking water, along with the microbial and the contamination in present in the water. Also, a very important factor is that these states are prone to a lot of floods every year. So also why these sachets can be very useful. in these 5 states. If I can jump directly to our last slide, second last slide actually, and this discusses the marketing material that we will be giving to our distributors. So this slide highlights the distribution model that we will be taking. Our brochures and the flyers will be provided to the distributor as marketing material. We will also be providing the simple training. As I just mentioned, this product requires a certain level of training, and we will be providing that. Our team will be present with the distributor to provide such a training. And we've just listed down the profit margins for each and every structure. We can go into details, I think, particularly for this slide once we start discussing with the team of Franchise India. And the marketing material that I mentioned here, I can just show an example of the marketing material. If I can go to the next slide. Yes. So these states have a lot of different languages, but primarily I've just given examples. We have other languages as well. We on the screen you can see that Hindi and Bengali are the 2 examples that I've shown. So we have pamphlets, we have flyers, we have information that we can distribute, which can help people use and understand the product and on how to utilize it. So I think that concludes whatever I had to say on the packets as a background. We can now go into an interactive session with the team.
Thank you, Rajat. Very, very informative. And first time when I was introduced to this product, I was super impressed because I felt this is a genuine innovation, and we need a lot of such innovation, especially in India, where large part of diseases are based off water, and especially now we're heading into a rainy season. We have expectation of floods. So we know how important it is for inclusive healthcare, and especially for the rural market, how important that healthcare. A lot of times it is not even noted what is going on, how people are drinking that kind of water. So I think it's an absolute service, and that's why globally this product is actually promoted through NGOs. Almost every NGOs are actually distributing this product, and they P&G also in their initiative actually use this as a program for upliftment, a last mile, sport. Rather, they have a company called FutureWorks, which works on rural upliftment. And this was a product which was created by Procter & Gamble purely on that initiative. It's one of the responsible global enterprise which work a lot of rural health. And in everything they do, while people think that they are only available in the urban market trying to sell you FMCG products and so on and so forth. But P&G, being a very responsible company, they work on a lot of initiatives globally under FutureWorks rural welfare. So it's a phenomenal idea. I think India is a sachet market. I know the founder of sachet in Indian market. So one of our clients whose father actually founded sachets. So when I saw a combination of P&G using a sachet and coming to India where consumptions are almost daily basis and so on and so forth, it's a phenomenal idea. Now, every opportunity we in this forum rate on 4 big principles. One is what I call credibility. So there is no doubt that a brand like Procter & Gamble brings a huge amount of credibility. And I think great opportunity out of earlier 100 inquiries we used to get, 10 inquiries were essentially all about getting P&G or Unilever distribution or something like that. So it has a phenomenal credibility. Scalability, no doubt about it. India, I saw some states comparing to countries. So it's, even if you become a state partner, you're probably looking like owning a country in their own right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It looks like that when you are in owning a UP, then you have Brazil, and we have more water issues than even Brazil. So you have bigger opportunity from that viewpoint. So it has a great scalability.
Absolutely.
It is a very sustainable model because you don't have to put infrastructure. It's just about the stocks, and stocks also are not perishable. They just one. So,
Yeah.
and then finally, it has to have a little bit of a, what I call predictability. And a predictability is where my suggestion more than that, I would not use this as a more question, and I'll come down to the question.
Okay.
More suggestion because it looks like very simple, but it can be a complex business if you don't know your TG well. It's not a product where people who just don't start asking. So you need to work to popularize the product and make it reach out through NGOs, through state bodies, to municipal corporations, to even at taluka levels or even panchayat levels. Every
True.
panchayat
That's true.
has a lot of budget which they
Yes.
use it for their neighborhoods to get cleaned and so on and so forth. So it is great business model for somebody who has a very go-to-market capability, can work with what I call administration closely, can work with rural development departments of state very closely. On one side, work with not-to-profit organizations or NGOs very closely. Then it is a very big and very large and continue to be there in the business for next 10, 20 years, because this problem is not going anywhere for 10, 20 years. Because
True.
we'll never uplift our program for even a city like Delhi. Half of cities in Delhi, you cannot find water. You have
There are complaints related to drinking water. Yes, even in cities as big as Delhi and Mumbai. Yeah.
That's right. So it's a big business. So my question for you is, in your experience, who is the right distributor, a city distributor or a state distributor? What kind of profile, what kind of background they should come from, and what is the first 3 months, 6 months kind of a plan which they need to put in? Because I feel that the challenge would be go to market. Otherwise, I don't see any challenge. I give full marks on the business model. I feel that India is the greatest market, so there's a positive influence.
Yes.
And third is there is relatively no risk. But I feel that it might be challenging a lot of people to get in the business. So who's your right target group, and what do you think is first 3 months for them to really look at it?
All right. Thank you for the background also. And as to your question, I would say that the ideal distributor for us for this product, as such, as we've noted in the other markets as well. So the same applies to India also. Our ideal distributor is someone who would have a certain distribution network already that would be created. Ideally, that would be for FMCG products or similar products that people utilize on a daily basis. And also that the distributor should have a certain amount of manpower available. Why I say this is because the training aspect in this product is very important, and that is the initial challenge that we faced in other distribution areas that we've tried. So we've been successfully been able to counter those challenges by taking care of the training aspect. Now, the training aspect is taken care of when when a distributor has enough manpower, so that he can send that manpower out in rural areas where this product is most required, for example. And those people can train, the manpower can train the users, the individual end users, or the people or the retailers who can further train or further provide information. The pamphlets and the flyers will obviously help, but then the manpower must be present. It is a very big factor. So that is the ideal scenario, and that is what we are looking for in a distributor.
So what you're trying to say is that maybe state distributor can be somebody who doesn't come with a background but put some little bit of credit. But the city distributor has to be somebody who has ability to reach out to the same resellers or the kiryanas and the last mile delivery platforms, and to activate each neighborhood. Might need to do a lot of demos. So say a small shop, you have these people who are promoters, go there, get a lot of people around, show the demo, so that the sales starts moving from that seller. So you need to do a lot of city by city, district by district activations, and this might require a lot of work to be done. So, and that's how most of the category in cases like this have been built. So second question of mine, then I will pass it on to Sonia. Who's your big competition? Who you're going to replace? Because we know there are a lot of medicines available in the market. There are a lot of other products available in the market, or there are some older mechanisms which are implemented in regional levels and so on and so forth. And a lot of questions I see people talking about a different methodology of cleaning water. Who's closest to what you do? Obviously, PNG is a credible organization, but who's closest to you, or what is the primitive methods going on in the rural hygiene, which are your competition?
I'm glad you asked that question. So, to put it first, this is a patented product, and as such, there is no other sachet that is being manufactured similar to this sachet. So this particular technology, as it is patented, there is no other competition. With regards to other methods for water purification, yes, we do have certain traditional methods as well as new methods. I'll go into the traditional methods. The most common method that people use even to date is boiling water. Now, water, when it is boiled, it does not remove all types of bacteria or all types of contamination as such. And that is a challenge. Plus, in rural areas where people still utilize resources such as kerosene or wood, the government and a certain number of organizations, they've clearly stated that such resources must not be used, as they also lead to wastage of resources and pollution. So that being said, this product contains a certain edge over those traditional methods. Secondly, new forms of water purification we have, even in places where this product is required, essentially where tap water has not reached. People say that, okay, we are used to consuming a certain water, but then we do have tap water. Agreed. There are certain places where tap water has also not been provided. So in those places where people still use rivers and ponds to collect and drink their water, this sachet can be tremendously helpful. And in such places, if you provide water filtration systems, we often see that, and this is a little funny, that there are a lot of NGOs who've provided filtration systems which do not require electricity. And we've often seen that either there is an animal that is tied to that water filtration system which is not being used at all, or children playing around with the taps or the tap breaks, or it is not being maintained. The filter is not being changed or replaced after the specified amount of time. So there are certain challenges with regards to other filtration systems. Some of them require maintenance, as I mentioned. Some of them require electricity, which is not present in rural areas. This sachet, particularly when it comes to rural places, it overcomes all those challenges. Yes, so that is the edge that the product holds. When you compare it directly to, say, a chlorine or an alum that people usually use for filtration, chlorine, although it is much cheaper and easily available, but it again does not remove all the contaminants that should not be present otherwise in drinking water. So that is a challenge that people need to address, and which is where this product comes in and removes all those contaminants. Yes.
Absolutely. And also, I think especially for this labor who works on distant locations, they should carry with them, because most of the times when they have no access to all of these tools or things of that nature, and they are forced to drink water which is not good. And so I think it's a very good product, and I think timing wise is the perfect timing, because this all starts becoming bigger in the rainy seasons and all that starts happening. And now I think we just month and a half before this all rain start, and so I think it will be a good time to go to market. Sonia, over to you for your question and your remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rajat Arya, for taking up this webinar today. And I see the comments of the people, and I see a lot of relevant questions and other queries which have come up. And I feel, overall for the economy, clean water is the backbone for any healthy economy. But unfortunately, overall, I see globally also, this is a subject which is very under prioritized, at all levels. And not only that, financially, what I was reading, there's a big loss to economies which happen annually because of a lot of diseases we were talking about that happens because of the death that happened, the floods. And I think India, it was estimated close to about $600 billion a year is what we are losing. That's a burden on the economy because of the diseases for
Yes.
the waterborne diseases. So I feel while the opportunity is big, there's a big challenge because the kind of markets or audience we're trying to address are the uneducated ones. Even the last year, the Modi government had started an initiative of Jal Shakti. So there is an imperative I see from a lot of bodies and also from the government, but I feel it requires a lot of local penetration, education at a very grassroots level, and that is the kind of audience that is currently needed.
True.
And I was also reading there's almost of 2/3 of Indian households they drink untreated water. So the risk of this disease is very, very high. So I'll take up my first question. We were talking about the kind of profile of people that we want to look at. At the same time, do you see a market? Because if you look at the overall water purifier market, the market is big, but that market is restricted to only urban areas. Maybe tier 1 and to a certain extent tier 2 locations. But even in tier 1, a lot of people would not have ROs at their home. Even cities like Delhi, not every household would have. So my first question: what kind of profiles we talked about? But what kind of locations? You talked about the cities which were Jharkhand, and we talked about Bihar, UP, West Bengal, and these are the larger majority of population both in urban and rural which are currently using and drinking untreated water. So are there any locations which are priority, or do you think this product could be relevant all across India, maybe parallelly? And if there are, have you segmented how much market size you have maybe in tier 1, and apart from the prominent ones like West Bengal, Jharkhand, UP, Bihar? We all understand there's a big water problem there, but do you see the opportunity only in these, or there's a bigger opportunity outside as well?
All right, thank you for your question. And when it comes to opportunities, the opportunity is available throughout the entire country of India. As we all know that there are places everywhere in India that have this problem of contamination of drinking water. Why I mentioned that we are focusing on 5 particular states is those 5 states being UP, Bihar, Assam, Jharkhand, and West Bengal, is because they also have a certain problem of arsenic. Now, arsenic is a metal that is present in drinking water. And this product is widely used in waters where arsenic is present. So that is one very big aspect. Of course, contamination-wise, there are other places, there are other cities, there are other towns where this product can be used. We are using these sachets. We've used them in the past in various floods across the country. We've used them during the Chennai floods. We've used them during the Maharashtra floods last year. So we've used them across the country. We have several programs, not flood related, but related to NGOs, related to government service, where these sachets are being utilized presently. So application wise, they have an application throughout the country, but our focus states would be these 5 states of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, but we are also welcome to other distributors from other states.
Okay. So my second question is, while we see the opportunity very large, especially for a country like India, but do you see natural demand of the product coming in? Are people really aware? Because you've been in this business for quite some time. And I was also reading HUL also, they've been leaders in the sachet business. They also came with a product called Pureit. I don't know you're aware of it. I don't know that product is still available in the market though.
Yes.
So how do you see the market growing? Is there a natural demand? People come and ask for the product, or if it is available, they take it off the shelf, or it requires to be pushed, and there's a big education which is required to make this product available in the households which are targeted?
Correct. So I do see a natural demand because this is regarding to one of the questions that Mr. Gaurav asked earlier, that how do you think this can be pushed? The biggest form of advertising in this product would be word of mouth, because one person using the product knows that the other person also has the same problem for water contamination. So he or she would automatically refer the product to the other person, and the other person would also utilize it. Once you've trained, once the first person knows how to use the product, he will automatically tell the other person on how to use the product. So there, our main challenge of training a particular person gets solved in itself, because the first person would tell the other person. Now, this is how demand would be generated. Whereas, I'm sorry, could you also let me know the other question that you asked? What was the other question?
I talked about one was obviously the demand because I said, Pureit was a product of HUL which they launched a few years
Okay,
back.
yes.
I don't know where that product is. It is still on the shelf. And if you can just give us a little bit understanding, is there a competition? How the product was absorbed by the Indian market or the response of the product? And how do you see yourself pegged against Pureit?
Okay, Pureit is obviously a Unilever product. Pureit, they have filtration systems. They also did come out with a similar sachet back, if I remember correctly, in 2015.
2012.
Okay,
I think 12 they
2012.
launched. I don't know when the product was in the market. I think 2012 they
So
were.
they did market the product also. They did try to market it in somewhere in Madhya Pradesh. I'm not sure how
Gopal,
successful
right.
it was. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how successful it was, but I am almost certain for the fact that it does not exist as of now because I haven't read about it anymore. And although they had a sachet product, but it was divided into two parts from what I saw. You had to cut one portion of the sachet first, then use it, and then stir for 5 minutes, then the other portion, and then wait for another 20 minutes was what that required. What we've done is we've combined the entire technology, and which is obviously patented, as I mentioned earlier. So, which is why I said that no other product exists as on date, similar to this when it comes to direct competition. Yes.
I think I'll take some technical questions which people want to know.
I see a lot of questions that are coming
and I
in
think
today.
they're the best. So, is there any treatment, the treated water, any change in the pH levels of the water?
No, it does not affect the pH levels. Any water that is collected, the pH level remains the same. I see a question with regards to the MRP per pouch. Let me go ahead and answer that. The MRP per sachet is 20 rupees, 20. And that's for every 4 gram sachet that treats 10 liters of drinking water. The packets are packed in a box of 240 sachets. So yeah, every pouch is 20 rupees MRP.
And Rajat, how would you compare the quality of water with somebody has asked municipal treated water? Is that more superior, or the water treated from your sachet is more pure? The quality, is there a difference in the quality of water?
Compared to?
Municipal treated water.
Okay, municipal treated water is, some would argue that it is obviously superior because it involves a lot of heavy machinery. It goes through several processes before it is sent for drinking or for consumption. So, of course, it does take several processes and several machinery to purify water, which this sachet has managed to pack into a small sachet. Now, when you consider drinking water or municipal drinking water, you also have to understand that there are several other challenges associated with once the water has been sent. A lot of it gets contaminated on the way when it is being sent over here. So there are leakages, there are issues related to the piping which contaminate the water further. So you also have to take into account those factors when you are consuming such water and when you're comparing such water. Why P&G came up with this product also is because they realized that every household needs to purify their own drinking water, which is why also we have the concept of individual purification systems. If municipal drinking water would be so pure so as to consume it, we wouldn't have the concept of individual purification systems in every household, in every urban household at least. So there is that challenge of municipal water, and WHO realized and P&G also realized that every rural household also needs to have a certain level of purification in water, and which is why this product was also developed.
Great. Is there a quality of, because you said it has to be put in a plastic bucket, is there a quality of plastic which is defined? Can it be put in any other material like a metal or any other container, or it has to be plastic?
No, it does not necessarily have to be plastic. It can be any container. The size of the container has to be above 10 liters of water. So that is the only thing. And most houses have a bucket that is above 10 liters. They have a standard size of say 12 or 14 liters of water. So that is one thing that P&G has solved, that anything that you require to use the product is readily available at home. That's the buckets, the stirrer, a pair of scissors or a knife, and any cotton cloth. It can be any material, any shirt, It should be a clean shirt. That's all that's required. It should be, the material should be clean. That's the only requirement.
Okay. We have somebody who wants to understand, is there a water filtration test certificate which is required or in place? Because it is a WHO, it is listed by WHO as a protective household product.
Yes.
So does it
Yes.
still require a water filtration test certification?
So along with the WHO recommendation that it classifies into, we also have several test reports from around the world. We've conducted tests across the world in almost 100 countries that we are working in. We also have tests regarding filtration in India. We have reports from local Indian laboratories that have certified pre-water and post-water results. We do have them. And I would be happy to share them with anyone, with any distributor or any consumer who wants to know more about them. We do have them available, yes.
Okay, we have a question from Deep. P&G claims that it contains chlorine. Is it safe to drink daily basis for a long time and not having any side effects?
Okay, that's a very good question actually. Any water that we receive from municipal treatment water systems also contains chlorine. So the water that we are consuming on a daily basis also has chlorine, yes. As I mentioned, that this product uses only those chemicals and only those ingredients which would otherwise be used in municipal systems. And as regards to the amount of chlorine that is utilized by this product, it is as per the standards which are prescribed by the Indian government, that is the Bureau of Indian Standards and the WHO. It prescribes to both those standards. So it is well below the limit that is prescribed by such.
It can be consumed for any duration of time.
Yes, yes.
All right. So we have
And
Mr. Sorry.
To solve, I'm sorry to interrupt you. To solve any other further doubts, this product has been used for the past 15 years across the world, and there have been no complaints as such. People have been drinking this water. In fact, they've been utilizing this product for giving clean water to infants as well. So even infants under the age of 5, we've had results. We've had studies where people with diarrhea, even children under the age of 5 with diarrhea, that diarrhea has been solved. Of course, the medicines work too, but when they've been given clean water with the medicines, that has given us all better results. We've had cases where illnesses have been solved even up to 90%, as high as 90%. So yeah.
It's very high. And is there in the global market any other competitor? Because I was just, Googling, I was trying to find out. The only name I found was HUL in India that did it. Any other global competitor? Because I see your presence in all the major countries across. Yeah. Is there a global competitor?
There are competitors, obviously, yes. There are products which are present in liquid form. For example, we have liquid drops, we have liquid solutions. So you put a couple of drops in a certain amount of water and it makes it drinkable. While those products are also required, there is a market. We must understand that there's a market for each and every product in itself. There would be places where there is not so much microbial contamination or contamination through heavy metals, such as arsenic I mentioned. So in those markets, such products would not work. Whereas in some markets where you are already receiving drinking water which has undergone a certain purification process, in such markets, there is a possibility that there may be low demand for this sachet product. So not every product applies to every situation. But having said that, this sachet product is required in a lot of products, in a lot of places in India, because even though the government says that we currently have access to, the country currently has access to 90% of the country has access to drinking tap water. But we all know that somewhere that is not true. A majority of the country still does not have access to tap water, and let alone clean drinking water. So yes, that is a challenge.
Right. I was reading somewhere, by 2025, in the next 5 years, half of the world population will be living in water-stressed areas.
Yes.
So
yes.
Clean water is one issue. There are places in the world where we'll have no water.
True.
Okay. We have a question from Mr. Arvinder Sandhu. He's already in the business. He's in the field of industrial water treatment. He wants us to suggest how we can proceed with it. Will his existing business help him or add any value, or taking up master order distribution?
This connects me to another question asked by Mr. Gaurav earlier, that what would be a requirement for any such distributor. We would prefer to have distributors who have previous experience in any sort of distribution network, who have certain manpower, who can reach out to networks based in rural areas, because that's where our main consumer is. Also that we have certain potential in urban markets, but then our main consumer is in the rural market. So any such query with regards to people who, or distributors who do not have an existing network, we will have to look at that on a case-to-case basis on what they can do, where they can reach. We will have to look at their potential on a case-to-case basis.
All right. Okay, we did talk about the amount of water it is needed to mix a sachet. We have Mr. Prasoon who wants to know, are there any side effects or any implications which are adverse if the sachet is mixed in less than 10 liters, say 5 liters or anything between 5, 10 or lesser amount of water? Is there any side effect on the health?
While that is not recommended, it is just that, so I did see a question with regards to the taste of water as well.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and inform everyone that the taste there's a very minor difference in the taste, and the water that comes out is actually how drinking water is supposed to taste. We've compared this to water in other developed countries, say the US or Canada, for example, and the taste of the water that is produced with these sachets is similar to the drinking water in those countries. So when we say that, is there a change in taste? Now we will also acknowledge that the water in India, in various areas of India, it tastes different in each area. So there will be a slight difference in taste, but when you ask about the presence of chlorine in water, no, there is not a significant amount of taste of chlorine in water. So when you take 5 liters of water and use the entire sachet, for example, you will get an additional taste of chlorine is all. That will be the only difference. There will be no side effects. Although we recommend that the sachet be used with 10 liters of water and not less, but there will be situations where people will use, maybe unknowingly, they will use the water, 5 liters of water and a single sachet. Well, let me go ahead and also clarify that, and we make this very clear during our training, that nobody must utilize half a sachet in one day and then half a sachet the next day, because the powder is moisture sensitive, and which is why it is packed in a certain manner. The plastic that we use for the packaging is to protect it from moisture present in the atmosphere. And so it is strongly advised not to use half a sachet with 5 liters of water and then half a sachet the next day. We must use the entire sachet, preferably for 10 liters of water. Okay. Is the guideline.
We're running for last 5-7 minutes, so take up some questions.
So I think we can take one on maybe the business model, because a lot of people would like to know. We've talked about the MRP. What kind of margins would we have in different tiers, for the retailer, for the distributors, and at what price is the sachet given to the stockist or the distributor?
All right.
And is there an MAQ, which is the minimum order quantity, MOQs, to be ordered by the distributor?
So if we can just pull up the slide again, will that be useful for the consumer, for the people who are attending this webinar? Okay, yes. As mentioned in the slide, there are certain levels of distribution that we can go through. Now, the topmost level would be the state distributor. We've kept an initial investment of approximately 25 lakh rupees. We would be providing them stock against this entire amount. And we can go into the details of anyone inquiring for these sachets. The margin for them would be 5%. Now, as I mentioned, that every distributor, we prefer that every distributor has a certain level of manpower, who would go out and train the consumers, the retail shop owners, the stockists, any levels further down. So we realized that any manpower comes with a certain number of costs. What I've not mentioned in this slide is that we are also offering a scheme to begin with for the state distributors and for any other distributors that may reach out to us. And that would be a scheme of, say, 1 sachet for every 10 sachets purchased. So that's a scheme of 10% to cover the initial expenses that they may incur in storage or in marketing or in reaching out to consumers, in reaching out to potential distributors or retailers, I may say. So that is one thing that we've also incorporated in our distribution. When people reach out to us, we will obviously inform them about this. The margins for the city distributor are approximately 10%. These margins are on the MRP of the product, I may add, which is 20 rupees per sachet. So the city distributor has approximately 2 rupees margin in that per sachet. Some people have also recognized that the city distributor can deal with the retailer directly. So in that case, the city distributor can decide whether they want to retain the margin that is kept for the stockist, which is 7%. So they can either keep it with them or they can transfer it to the retailer. So that option is always available. It is up to the city distributor to decide how they want to go ahead with that and what their potential is. So the state distributor margin 5%, city distributor is 10%, stockist is 7%, and the final retailer gets approximately 4 rupees, which is 20% of the MRP. These are the margins that we've kept for the distributors. We are looking out for state distributors with the investment of 25 lakh rupees. We are obviously open to receiving requests in the 5 focus states and the other states as well for city distributors also. So I see one question with regards to state distributorship versus city distributorship. We are open to both. While we prefer one, we are open to receiving both, and it would be a case-to-case basis based on the population and based on the amount of drinking water challenges in the particular city.
Okay, so this fee that you've mentioned, which is 25 lakhs of the investment, this can vary depending on the potential. There is somebody who wants to know, sorry,
yes.
maybe you can add on to that. There's somebody who wants to know, apart from the structure that you've given, if somebody doesn't want to be a stockist or a state distributor, is there a possibility of becoming a small distributor in some place, or at this stage we're not looking at that profile?
So yes, they would either be a city distributor or even smaller, a district distributor. They would cater to a particular district in a state or a city. So we would obviously have to look at that on a case-to-case basis. Like I mentioned, we would have to look at the population in that particular district or city. One particular district may have a population of say 50,000 people. So the initial investment required by any distributor would not be that high when compared to a city distributor. Say someone wants a distribution for Kolkata versus someone who would want a distribution for Siliguri in the state of West Bengal. So every distribution model, other than the state distribution that we mentioned, would be looked at on a case-to-case basis. Yes.
I think we've kind of covered a lot of questions. I see a lot of questions on the margins and the pricing and a lot of technical questions, which I think has been answered. But I see a lot of questions which are very specific to a city or a state, and somebody even wants to know if there's a manufacturing available, or we're just looking at distribution, because you mentioned Singapore, we already have a hub where the global manufacturing happens. So that is ruled out. We don't have a manufacturing opportunity at this stage.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think my suggestion would be we can take all these questions which are very specific to the city or the profile of the people, and because a lot of people have shown interest and they say we would like to discuss maybe a little bit of detail. We can take these discussions offline, maybe between today and tomorrow. And and once this webinar is over, I'll also request our team to maybe email every participant who's come on this webinar the entire presentation, and most of their queries would be answered. And we can have one-on-one call, which can be organized you between today and tomorrow. Any important question, Rajat, which you think you want to pick up from this chat, because you're also going through simultaneously? I think I've covered a lot of questions and a lot of repetitive questions which I'm seeing are coming in. So any questions particularly that you have laid your eyes on and you feel that it needs to be picked up, we can do that. Else,
I just looked at one question. Of course, there are various technical questions regarding The product in itself, we can answer them, of course, turn by turn. But I see one particular question where they've asked on how do they take it forward, how do they contact you. So if you can just clarify that, do they have to contact you through Facebook? Have they already given their email ID? Just that clarification.
Anshana, if you can put your contacts and the details, and
Yes.
you also can put your contacts. So we want our investors to also reach out for any
Yes.
other. I think in the meantime, I will just try to summarize, because I saw a lot of questions on the note, and a lot of people trying to make 3 very strong comparisons. One comparison on the the whole cleaning methodology in terms of how it needs to be done. Second, a lot of people making comparisons on pricing, which means that how it is priced higher, lower, and so on and so forth. And third, I think a lot of other criteria of quality of clean water. So I want to make it very clear. This is targeted to a diversity. This is targeted to things which are not natural. Sometimes the locations, regions which are currently not so much serviced by municipal corporations, or there is a challenge, or there is like the flood situation now going on. So these are situations which are unwanted, which sometimes arise, or in rural areas where basic infrastructure is missing. So this is
Yes.
a very specific opportunity. It should not be compared to your RO filter at a home.
True.
RO filter at home is a very urban phenomena. This is not even a semi-urban or a phenomena. And people who have that, I think, have much more cleaner water, a lot of other aspects. So the sachet would never have a comparison of what a RO can do in your home. So it's pretty much a wrong comparison. Second, this is a business model ideally for people who have ability to work with municipal corporations. They can work with health department of a state. They can very closely work with a lot of sarpanch structures, and they can also work with any kind of NGOs or initiatives which are taken for. So this business is great business, but it is for people who can make that last mile approach. Most of the times, most of the countries, and Rajat, I think he mentioned also, countries would subsidize this. So a lot of times NGOs buy this and then they distribute free to others. So your customer might not be the end user. It might be an NGO or a state body or other initiatives. So you have to see this business from that perspective. If you understand how to do this business, then you will find that this is a very large demand business, and it all can then spike up in certain months where you need a lot more stock to give it to entire thing, and certain months it will go down because you don't have that kind of structure. So it's very important before you get into this business, you need to really go deeper into understanding. Just because it's a Procter & Gamble brand, which is a great brand, it also needs a lot of your personal ability to make this business model happen. And if you are able to do that, then this business is much, much larger than what can be done in this 25, 30, 50 lakhs. It is a much larger distribution play. So Rajat, any last points which you would like to bring it to the audience, and Sonia, from your side also, the last word?
I think I would just like to thank everyone who joined us today for this session, and I would like to also thank the entire team for setting this up very, very nicely. We've had a brilliant session, and I see that we have a lot of queries already, so we would be solving them one by one, obviously. Yes, just thank you to everyone. This is a very difficult time for everyone. We just thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Arya, for coming on this webinar. And I think there were many important information insights. A lot of people, I think, while I was checking these questions out, I also learned a lot of things which I perhaps understood for the very first time. But overall, I feel the scarcity of potable drinking water has directed the way the innovation companies like P&G have come in, and we see a big opportunity for this. We wish you all the best, and we'll take up all the questions which our viewers and the listeners on this webinar have come up with, and we hope that we have you in all the targeted locations with the right profile of people. And rightly, as we talked about, we're not looking at return on the investment or time. We need people who come from this background, who understand the business and last mile penetration to the audience, the target audience. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Archana, thank you word from your side.
So thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thank you so much, Rajat, taking out time today and having an interactive session with all the friends and families who have joined. Thank you so much, participants, for joining us today. It was a great session by our panelist, by Rajat. We have already shared details with you. However, if you can just check your chat box, you'll definitely get again the same details. We got your queries. We got some email IDs as well as phone number. By today and tomorrow, our team will definitely contact you, regional team as well as the central team. And tomorrow, we have again a great brand, JEI Learning Center, a well-known brand for supplementary education. They are into the education portal. So look forward to have you tomorrow. My colleague Dheeraj has shared a chat link with you over your chat tool. You can join us by registering yourself on this particular link. So look forward.
Have any questions which are still unanswered, or anything which you feel Franchise India can assist you in terms of your decision to buy a franchise, you can reach us, all of us, on a lot of social platforms. We are available actively on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all other platforms also. If you want to reach us, Sonia and me, then you can reach directly on LinkedIn. So, and you can write direct questions to us. We're more than happy to answer.
Sure. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the call. Best wishes. Stay safe.